Hello and welcome. Today we're about to make a mirror inside of FreeBSD. A mirror is a sort of RAID that if we have a disk that we want to mirror, we will use additional disk that will make automatically make a copy of that disk in real time, and what it does then is that we have many disks with same data on that acts like one disk. If one of the disks are getting ruined, we simply can remove that one, insert a new one, so we have a sort of safe way to store data on. But please remember that it's not the only thing that we should have, because we need to have also an external backup on our systems, even if they are mirrored, because it can happen that all these crashes, even if the odds are smaller. It can happen like other things, like imagine like if a computer gets stolen, or if it's burning or something, can be many problems that ruins one computer. And however, the first thing that we should do here is that we should enable the system which is the GEOM mirror system. Do like this: edit boot loader.conf. In here you want to add geom underscore mirror underscore load equals yes. And then you have to reboot. Okay, since we are rebooting, I would like to speak what GEOM can offer us. GEOM is a disk management system which kernel developers are working on, and it brings possibilities to use a software RAID, different types. It also brings possibility for us to use disk encryption if we would like to. We also have the possibility to export devices over the network, so you can mount them on other FreeBSD machines. That's really awesome. And when it's about GEOM, if I'm not wrong, I think I'm actually sure about that we can use GEOM modular. So it means that if we make a mirror, we can use GEOM one more time to encrypt the entire mirror, and so on, or to use many mirrors to put them inside of a RAID 5 and do crazy things like that. Now I logged in, since we enabled the GEOM mirror system. Now we need to add a new hard disk drive that we would like to make a mirror on. To add a hard disk drive in FreeBSD, in VMware you can press VM and go to settings. In here you press add and you select hard disk drive. You create a new hard disk, a new virtual disk. Use SCSI. I want 8 GB is enough in this tutorial. And I browse where I would like to save it. I use this and virtual machine, and this is where I place the virtual disk. So let's call this, what should we call it? Virtual disk 01. Now we have a new disk on 8 GB. And then we take OK. Now you see that FreeBSD has detected the device as DA0. Can also be seen under, if we else, inside of dev. Here you can see DA0, but still there is no slices or any partitions. When we're going to partition this drive, I would like to use the sysinstall because it's very simple. But first I would like to create the directory where we should mount the disk on. I tried before to mount it temporarily on the MNT. This was not very successful. I was getting errors, so I avoid to do it in the tutorial. Instead, I'm going to create a directory called my disk, which is inside of the root now. Now simply take sysinstall. I want you to go to the configure and Fdisk. remember now that be careful, I don't take responsibility if you ruin a disk with data on that is important. Okay, now I select with the arrow key which device I would like, and I press space. DA0 in my case. This is where we create the slice now. I want to use the entire disk for slice, so I press A. Remember that partitions are inside of a slice in FreeBSD, so slice is a big chunk of data where we can put partitions inside. Now, when I made this slice by pressing A, I want to write to it also. Press the W, and it's asked if I'm really sure. In this case I am. Since I don't have any other systems on this disk, I'm going to use it as a normal disk. You can take standard here. Yep, it wrote successfully. Press the Q button to get out of here. Now I tab to the OK key because it's already selected the drive that I want. Now we need to create a partition. We do this in label. So I want to use all the data for my partition, so I press C. I take all the data here. I take FS because I want a normal file system. The mount point was the directory created, /mydisk. Press OK. Now I want to write to it. Press W. Yes. That's very weird. I could not mount this disk. And I don't know why it did that. I tried to change the mount point by pressing M. Perhaps I need to do like that. And I press W. Okay. I cannot write again. I need to check what was going wrong. I press Q to go out of here. And I go up to exit. And I go to exit sysinstall. Just going to check in the devices what happened. Here you have something interesting that DA0 and DA0 slice 1, we created the slice on the disk, but we could not partition it because it was impossible to mount it. So let's go to the root again and check. My disk was the name, we were using correct name, the correct path. And the disk is not mounted, of course. Let's try again with sysinstall. And then we go to configure. And then label again. I pick this disk again, DA0. And I take to create a new slice. I take all the data, file system, and I use /mydisk again. And OK. I write to it by pressing W. Yes. Now it functions. I'm not really sure why this happens, because I first thought this was a problem that we didn't create the category first where to mount it. I'm not sure if it's a bug or if it should be like that, but if anyone knows what problem this is, I would be happy if anyone could tell me this, because it's really not, it doesn't feel good to mount and to go back and try to mount again and then successfully. But now we know how to solve it at least. And the data partition is written, so let's go out here by pressing Q. And then we take OK here also and go back up to exit. And then we just exit this install. I clear the screen and we can look in my disk, and it was mounted correctly. So now we had one disk partition and mounted. And as I said before, I really don't know why the sysinstall is so weird with that it cannot mount it. If I find out, I will explain it later. Okay, since we have the disk now, and we want to, if we would like to make a mirror on it, we need to use the GEOM mirror. But first, I would like to add some files to this disk before we remove it. Okay, I created some files here. And I created a directory on this disk. So now I'm going back so I don't stand in it, and we're going to unmount it. I'm going to show an error when you try to unmount something. Imagine if you stand in a disk and you try to unmount it with umount/mydisk. It will stand device is busy, and that's a very cryptical message, but it's because we are standing in it. So if we go back and don't stand in it and try to unmount it again, it functions. That's just a little pitfall that is easy that can happen sometimes, and it's a really cryptic message. Okay, now the device my disk is unmounted. This means that we are able to add this inside of a mirror. And before we add this to a mirror, I would like to show you something to remember. Look in dev. Here you see this disk with the slice 1 and a partition on it. And when we create the mirror, you will see something happen here. In order to create the mirror, you do like this. gmirror and label v. And now we call it my mirror. This is the name of the mirror that we are creating now. And then we select the drive. And in this case it's a DA0. Don't take the partition, only the entire drive now, and it's DA0 in this case. When I press enter now, GEOM has been storing some metadata on the disk, which is used for the information of the mirror. So the mirror was created. Let's look under ls in the dev directory again. And here you see, remember what I said before? The DA0/1D is gone. We only have DA0 now. It's for one reason. If you look in dev mirror, here is our new mirror, which is that disk drive. So here you see my mirror S1D. This is the disk that we were using, and I'm in the slice and the partition now. Pretty cool, huh? So if we want to use the mirror, we just mount that one. Let's try it. We add it here. And as you can see, we are using the device mirror, which is my mirror S1D. And then we want to mount it on /mydisk. We want Unix file system. We want to be able to write and read and write to it. And these two things is our priority things that don't worry about them now. We're going to take this later in another tutorial. I write and quit. And now I mount the disk again. Just take mount A. Now when I look inside of the device, I should look in my disk folder. You see we have the data there, which was there before. If you make this command gmirror and use status there, you can see the mirror which is active. There you have the mirror. It's complete, it's completely functional, no problems, and it's contains with the component DA0. Okay, but a mirror is useless with only one disk, so now we're going to add more disk to it. And as before, go to VM, use settings, and now add, take another hard disk drive, create a new virtual SCSI, 8 GB. Remember, It has to be at least the same size to function. My virtual disk was the name of that one. (02). Okay, I added a new hard disk drive. And it's recognized as a DA1 in the system. So you don't need to worry about any more advanced partitioning and doing like that now, because if you have the disk like this, you just make this command to add it into the mirror. GEOM mirror, insert, name of the mirror, my mirror in this case. Remember, don't put the partition, just the name of the mirror. And then when you have done this, you just need to add which drive to add. And you press enter. Okay, if you make gmirror status, you see that it stands degraded because the mirror is not fully done. In this case it's working. There you could see the status on it while it was replicating. And now it should be finished. So if we make this command again, ta-da! We have it there, mirror, my mirror, complete. And the components are here. So let's play around a bit and mess up this mirror. Let's imagine that one disk is crashing. Should we take the main disk DA0? That sounds fun. And we do like this. Which one was the first one I was adding? Must be this one. Yeah, this one. No, sorry, not that one. It was the system. Don't remove that one. This one is the correct one. Okay, I just plug out this device now. And press OK. DA0 has been removed. And if you look at the gmirror status now, it only remains of one disk. It's degraded, means that something has happened to it. And if we look inside of my disk directory, you see things are still there. Let's add new things there also. Okay, I was adding things also while one disk was removed, so we can see so everything functions also. Okay, since it stands like this, degraded, it means that something went wrong. And if one disk is ruined inside of the mirror, you simply use one command to wipe out this message, and then you just add a new disk. And it's as following. You can do like this. Gmirror, forget, this sounds bad, I know, but it's not. Gmirror, forget my mirror. And if we look at gmirror status now, it stands complete, but remember it was just to remove the message and to clear up that this disk has been ruined. I know it, and I'm just going to insert a new one. So let's insert a new disk and repair again. VM settings, and in this case it's the same as plugging in an entire new disk, a new hard disk drive, SCSI and 8 GB, and just take a name, hope I didn't use that name before. I want more devices. I want to have another disk also. Create another one, it's good to have many disks. I use the name 04 on this one. Finish, okay. Now we have 2 additional drives here. Okie dokie. Now we have one DA0 and DA2, so now we're going to insert them to the mirror. Gmirror, insert my mirror. Let's try to see if we can push in 2 disks at the same time. DA0 and dev DA2. Alright. If we look at the status now, you can see we have the 2 disks here, and it's building, and it stands degraded because it didn't build the mirror now. So what it does now is that it replicates the mirror and reconstructs it. It takes all the data on the disk and copy them exactly the same way as on the first disk. And DA2 has finished. Let's see what it stands now in the status. I think the that one finished also. Alright, that was it. It was very simple, not anything advanced at all. I'm going to write down all the steps on the website, BSD tutorial also. And it's because it goes a lot quicker to have these notes in front of you, and you can write them down, and so you have them and you can look at them. One thing more, we should try to destroy the mirror in case that one day you don't want to run mirror anymore. Let's do like this. First we need to unmount the mirror. And we can do one thing also before we unmount it. We can look that everything functioned in my disk. Yep, everything's there. You see? Fantastic with mirror. Okay, let's unmount it. Now the disk is unmounted. And let's destroy the mirror. Then use gmirror, stop, and the name of the mirror. And it's destroyed. Now you want to remove the metadata on the disk that contains the information of the mirror. Then you just give this command, gmirror clear, and all the devices you want to clear. Dev da0, dev da1, dev da2 in this case. And removed the data there. So let's try to pick the main disk now and see if we can get the data back from that disk, even if it was mirrored. So then we do mount, and we take the device da0 and mount it on my disk. Oops. Did I do anything wrong? Yes, I was forgetting that it's not the, I need to take the partition da0 s1d. And there we have all the data again. Fantastic. I want to check how it looks like. I think that other disks are without partitions now, but let's look if they have. Ah, they have. DA1SD. This is cool, I didn't think about it. Let's try to mount this device also and see if it contains the same data. So let's do like this. We use the same command as before, but we take, instead of DA0, we take DA2. Pretty cool, I didn't think about it. So all the disks are completely identical. Could be one way to clone disk, but there are better ways than that. Alright, that was everything I had in this tutorial for today. And I'm going to write down the steps on the website so you can find them a lot easier than this. And to recap a bit, I don't know why sysinstall is making that error when you try to mount them directly, even if their directory exists. I'm going to check out to see if I can find more information about it. If I find, I'm going to write it down also on the same page of the website. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and take care.